What's up, everybody? Welcome to Club Wealth TV. My name is Michael Hellickson. I'm with Club Wealth Coaching and Consulting, and we are live on Facebook with you right now. And we've got some awesome stuff for you today. Got my co-hosts that are on with me every week. That's Brian Curtis at Bentonville, Arkansas, with Curtis Realty Group. Mr. Rockstar over there doing between 200 and 350 transactions a year, just freaking killing it over there. And Mr. Mike Bjorkman, Santa Clarita, California, with HomeSmart. Mike's killing it as well. Mr. I'm out of production and still make $1.5 million a year on my team. So yeah, whatever. All right, so he's killing it. We love you, Mike. And then we got Mr. Sam Khorramian on the line with us. He can't hear anything we're saying right now because his dial-up is showing apparently. But we're stoked about Sam being on. He's hopefully going to be switching from the dark side of iPhone, eating all those cookies, on over to the Android side that actually works on the internet. So we're working on getting his connection up to speed here and see if that happens there. So while he's doing that, one thing I wanted to share with you guys, we have got some stuff to give away today. We're going to start off with right here. I've got, woohoo, there we go. We got Espresso Agent. I got 3 free months of Espresso Agent right here. Can you guys see that? Check that out. So what we're doing is we're going to give that away to somebody. We have this drawing that we do. So essentially, it's the Hawaiian Vacation Giveaway drawing. And what we do is you get entries into this drawing every time you add people to our Facebook group, every time you refer somebody to Club Wealth, every time you come to an event, every time you post about Club Wealth and hashtag it Club Wealth and so forth. You get entries into the drawing. And so what we've done is we've gathered up all the entries, and the Hawaiian Vacation Giveaway itself is given away at our BSM event. That's in November every year. So that's the Business Strategy Mastermind Conference. That's given away live at that event every year. But right now, we're going to give away this right here. And the person that won, we drew the name here just a few minutes ago. And the person that won is a broker. It's actually a HomeSmart broker. It's not Mike, and it's Isom Coleman in Sacramento, California. So Isom Coleman, congratulations. You won yourself a free 3 months of Espresso Agent, which for those of you guys that don't know, it's a great program for expireds, FSBOs. It's essentially the little sister to Vulcan 7. With some awesome technology. So there you go. So Isom wins that, and Isom, you're welcome to share that with any of your agents that you choose to give that to. That's totally up to you. So that being said, for those of you that would like to get entries into our drawing, we've got 2 more things that we're going to be giving away today. So we'll have that happen later on in the show. And if you would like to enter, there's a couple ways you can enter right now. One is you can comment in this post. So while we're talking today, while we're having our conversation with Sam, you can literally comment on the post, and the best, every single comment gets 1 entry into the drawing. And the best comment, the best question, whoever has the best thing to say or add or ask, you're going to get 5 entries into the Hawaiian Vacation Giveaway drawing. And then at the very end, we're going to draw for that. And also, if you want to add people to the Facebook group, you get more drawings there. So that being said, without further ado, Sam, how are you, brother? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah, you almost look like you're on witness protection with all the pixelization there. Looks like you're in the FBI's witness protection program there.
Is it really coming through pretty bad?
We can hear you, though. The audio's great, so that's good news.
Well, I'm not much to look at, so that works out, I guess.
You're like me. You've got a great face for radio. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but at least I'm better looking than Bjorkman.
Oh, please.
Dude, you are the best looking Uber driver I've ever seen, Sam. Come on, man.
That's funny.
That's awesome. Well, see. So Sam, tell us who you are. Tell us a little bit about about Big Block Realty, which, by the way, for those of you that don't know, is the fastest growing real estate brokerage in the United States, according to the Inc. What is it? Inc. 500 or Inc. 100 list?
Inc. It's the Inc. 500 or 5,000. We're, as a whole, number 26, fastest growing company in America, fastest growing, and we're the number 1 fastest growing real estate brokerage on the list that year. So it's really exciting for us. Obviously, as an entrepreneur, I think we all look up to being on a list like that. For myself, that was kind of like a huge goal of mine. So we're really proud of it. We started here in San Diego about 4.5 years ago. And today we have just about 650 agents throughout the state of California.
Wow. That's awesome. Good for you, man. So talk to us. So today we wanted to talk about mindset, and one of the things that you're amazing at, obviously, as part of recruiting these agents, you've obviously done a great job of getting them into the right mindset. And so today, talk to us a little bit about mindset and why it's important, and some of the things that we need to be kind of cognizant of when it comes to what's happening in our minds and what's being taken in and how that's affecting what we're able to put out.
Yeah, it's a great question. And, I think that the interesting thing about the word mindset, or when we talk about it, there's so many different ways to interpret what we mean by mindset. And let me explain what it means for me. See, when you have the right mindset, and we'll get to how I think you develop that, it helps you do the things that you don't want to do in order to have the things that you want to have. See, a lot of times, most of us, unfortunately, when I work with a lot of agents, what I'm hearing is, Sam, I just need to figure out how to do X so I can pay Y. I just want to be able to pay my car payment. I just want to be able to pay the mortgage. I just want to be able to take the family on a vacation. And all of these things are important and nice. But I'll tell you that I'm not going to do the things that I need to do to grow a big business if all I'm focused on is paying the note on the Camry that I have. And I'm not suggesting that a Camry is a bad car, but what I am suggesting is when your eye is on the prize of having a Rolls Royce in the driveway, you might do different things on a daily basis. You might take different actions. You might have a stronger attitude, a stronger approach, stronger expectations. If your eye is on the prize of a Rolls Royce versus maybe a Ford Explorer, both great cars, but what I'm going to do to earn one is far different than what I need to do to earn another. And if you can just put yourself in the place where you're focused on where you want to be, and it's so real and so strong that you almost feel like you might die without it, then I know what happens for sure is you do the things that a lot of times you might avoid doing. And for me, that's where mindset starts, is having the right approach to anything that you're doing.
Guys, I'm going to let you hit that. And if you don't, then I'm going to comment on it, but I want to hear what you guys have to say.
No, that's absolutely true. You got to, every entrepreneur, every person that let's go directly towards agents right now. Agents have to have a mindset of prosperity, right? If they don't, they're not going to do any good. So whenever I hire an agent or work with an agent, I ask them, do you want the money or do you need the money? And it's funny how the ones that need the money put themselves and do the things that are necessary to get themselves in the right mindset. But what I try to focus on with the agents a lot about mindset is, we always talk about our whys, and I hate to talk about our whys, but it's real. I say, look 5 years in the future, 10 years in the future, children, do you have spouses? You think of retirement, and they're just forever waking up going, oh, that makes a lot more sense now. That makes a lot more sense now. So what we try to do is talk about what they need to do to keep their mindset straight. So Sam, what I wanted to ask you was, when you're coaching agents, 650 of them, congratulations. I know that's a lot of agents to work with. How do you explain to them how important self-help is, and how often do you recommend that they spend time on it? Hour a day, 2 hours a day, hour a week? What do you recommend?
And by the way, real quick, before you answer that, Sam, Brian, am I the only one that's having trouble hearing Mike? Sometimes is he breaking up for you too?
He is. His dial-up is also showing.
Oh my gosh, there we go, Mr. Technology. All right, so that being said, Sam, let me interpret what I think he's saying. Essentially, he wants to know, hey, are you encouraging your agents to spend a certain amount of time every day on personal development?
Yeah, I think that it's imperative that you're spending time every day on personal development and mindset, because the reality is that just yesterday I was talking with a group of my agents, and I said, look, as a business owner, I think that every business owner, every realtor, which is, as a realtor, you're a business owner, your goal should be to have an unfair advantage. And the only way I know how to have an unfair advantage is having more skills, more knowledge, more ability, more confidence than my competition. And that comes directly from putting good stuff in between your ears, just like, Michael Hellickson teaches. And continuing to keep yourself involved with that stuff. I tell a lot of agents, if you just simply read something positive for 30 minutes before you went to bed, the things that you'll dream about at night and the attitude you'll wake up in the morning, that alone is going to put you 5-10% ahead against everybody else in your office and in your, in your community. So I think that if you're not spending time on personal development, you're really missing it. And what's really interesting to me as a broker, and I'm sure Bjorkman, you can relate to this a little bit, it's actually quite surprising how hard it is to convince agents to get involved in stuff that's designed to help them increase their business and better their lives. We all get into the business to make more money and live a better quality of life. But there's not that many that'll actually take the time, the money, the energy, the bandwidth, and invest in themselves and spend a weekend with the right people and the right events that can help them grow.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people say, I don't have time to do that.
Mike, you're still breaking up, bro.
Crazy.
Sorry, man. You're totally breaking up. Hey, Sam, I got a question for you. So first of all, I agree 100% with you. I think mindset goes straight to self-confidence. And I think when you walk into an appointment, I don't care if you're in real estate or you sell cars or insurance, or it doesn't matter what you do. You work a 9-to-5 job somewhere. When you walk in with confidence, when you have the mindset that you are all that in a box of chocolates, and I don't mean that in an arrogant way. I just mean that you're good at your game. You're dialed in. You're ready. You're prepared. And that whoever it is you're dealing with on the other end, whether it's a seller or a buyer or whatever you're doing, that you are their best choice for what it is they want to accomplish. Seriously, the close at that point, the success at that point is a foregone conclusion. It's really just a natural extension of that mindset that you've created by preparing yourself mentally. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I think that, mindset is what pours into everything that you do. And when you're walking in to get a listing signed, if you're not walking in with a high level of confidence, a high level of energy, a high level of enthusiasm, you're probably going to get beat out by someone else. And all three of those things, to me, come directly from having the right mindset, which helps you have the right attitude, which helps you have the right approach, which can help you, have better expectations. You really have to be able to put this in place so that you can step into a listing and know the best person for the job. I tell my agents all the time, but to help them understand how I feel about what I approach in things. I say, look, the worst thing that can happen is I get back into the business because I will take every single listing I walk into, not because I'm the best, but because I know that I can. And that right there comes back from having so much good stuff put through my ears over years and years of struggling before it came together. And now I really do feel that not the market, not the environment, not the economy, nothing can affect my success as long as I have the right mindset and attitude and approach.
Yeah, that's awesome, Sam.
Go ahead, Brian.
So, real quick question for you, Sam. I love what you're saying. Mindset is ultimately, at the end of the day, the most important thing. I told a group of agents the other day that you better not go on a listing appointment behind me, because you better get there before me, because I'm taking a listing. So, I tell people I feel it's my moral imperative because I'm going to do a better job than everybody else. So those are definite things that really help us get listings. What I'd love to hear you talk about, because I feel like this is something that happens in real estate every single day. I'll tell a quick story. I was talking to somebody who was making $500,000 a year, which sounds like an amazing amount of money, and they were doing great, but they were having trouble getting any better. And so that's an extreme example, but honestly, some of the people who are actually able to do things like, pay their bills, pay for their Camry, make their house payment, that's all they're ever going to do, because that's all they said. What do you do for that guy who suffers from success? And I really mean that's kind of a goofy thing to say, but a lot of times we get to this point of success, we're doing great, I made $100,000 a year, whatever that number is, and I have no idea how to go from $100,000 to $500,000, $1 million. So, what do you tell that person who's doing okay, but can't go from there?
So, it's interesting because there's so many different ways, and this is such a great question, and like a ton of answers running through my head. I think it starts with your environment. If you are making $500,000 and the people around you are making $200,000 or $100,000 or $50,000, it's really hard to think bigger. some of the groups that I hang out with you guys, when you go to Michael's Club Wealth event, when you do these things, people that are just achieving so much more than you. And if that doesn't cause you to start thinking differently, then I really, I would challenge you to then sit back and ask you, why are you doing this, right? So let's go back to the Rolls Royce analogy. I know that Hellickson hates that point because he's not into spending money on luxurious things. But I'll tell you what I do know about Hellickson is he wants to have a big pile of money for something. It might be for savings. It might be for his kids. It might be for vacations. It might be for experiences. It might be to help Mike Bjorkman get a prettier mug. I don't know what it's for. But I do know for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, that Michael Hellickson is not on a plane every other hour and talking his face off for 90 minutes a time every single day because he doesn't want to have more than he has today. And if you're satisfied with what you have today, then your shit might be broken because there's always someone stronger, bigger, better, with more. Sorry about how much do I owe the curse jar?
$100. That's right.
$20 to my mug fund.
That's right. Cuevas is 3 behind. He's at 300 right now. So.
I got you at the next event. So back to the point. Listen, if you're hanging out with people that don't make you feel like you could be doing better, that's where it starts. I'll tell you, one of the things to me, when I know I'm in the right room, in the right event, when I'm hanging out with the right people, every time I leave, I ask myself this question: what the heck am I doing with my life? And one might argue that I have some good things going, but when I hang out with some of the people I hang out with, when I hang out with you guys and I leave, I honestly think, what the heck am I doing with my life? There's so much more I could be doing, and I'm only number 26 on the Inc. 500. And that right there is what's going to make me crazy enough to do the things my competition won't do. So I don't know if that answers your question, Brian, but I think it's a thinking issue. Okay. I'll tell you that right here, I have this book that I keep right here on my desk. And as I flip through it, I'm looking at it every day. It's the yachts I want. It's the vacations I want. Everything I write out, I want to give $1 million to charity. When I look at these things, that makes me do the things I don't want to do.
Absolutely. Okay, I got to hit this, Brian. This is because Sam, you're hitting the nail on the head here. I love the whole. You've got in front of you all the time everything that matters to you and everything that you want to have in life. And I'll tell you, it used to be we started off back in the day with the old vision boards, right? And John Assaraf. Most of you guys know John Assaraf pretty well. As a buddy of ours that was one of the guys that wrote The Secret. And John talks about how, he had this house on his vision board that he wanted to buy. And he looked at it every day for a year. And then the next year he updated his vision board and he had different stuff. And he took that one and he put it in the garage. And then they moved a couple of times and it was in a box in his garage and a couple more moves. He always had a new vision board. And then all of a sudden he gets to his new place and his kid has now grown up a little bit older. His kid goes downstairs, gets into the garage, finds this vision board and says, "Hey, wait a minute, Dad, what is this? What's this house? Why is there a picture of our house on this board?" And John looks at the board, the vision board, and he says, what are you talking about, our house? He says, "Dad, that's our house." And it was an aerial photo of the house that he was now living in. It was this mansion that he had dreamed about years ago. And he literally ended up buying that exact house without realizing that it was the same house that was on his vision board from before. So I'm a huge believer in the power of vision boards and visualization and keeping your goals in front of you. And so what I'm hearing you say is your vision board is literally on your computer. Is that right?
My vision, I have 2 vision books. I have a goal book and a vision book. Okay. My goal book is where I write out my goals and I write them out in the I have formation. I have $1 million check I'm writing to charity. I have a Rolls Royce Phantom that I paid cash. I have. And when I achieve it, I go through it. And I was just looking for the book. It's somewhere in this pile of mess. I go through that book probably like once a week, once every other week. And I write victory across everything that I've done. I have one on there from years ago that says, I will propose to Jen Tate. And I proposed to Jen Tate and I wrote victory. I will do this. I will do that. And then it's really exciting to actually miss going back to it for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, and then going back and saying, wow, look at all these things that I get to cross off. And I'll tell you, sometimes it's more fun to write victory across the goal than to have the goal in your possession. And it's so powerful. And the other book I have is my vision book, because I have too much art to have a vision board. So I took a book and I just take photos all the time, and I'm putting it to the book, the things I want to own, the things I want to have, the places I want to go. And if you don't look through this book and get excited, there's definitely something wrong with you.
So how often do you do that? How often do you go through your book?
Almost every morning. Like I try to get into the office before everybody. And what I do in the morning is I come in, on the drive in, I'm listening to something positive, podcasts, a lot of the stuff that you put out. I'm just getting my mind in the right place. And then I'll come in here, and I do this almost every day. I look at my vision book. I look at all the things I want. Most of the time, I won't look at the write outs. I'll do that maybe every other week. And then I'll spend like 5-10 minutes on YouTube watching something that really pumps me up. I don't know if you actually saw this video, and if you didn't, you got to go back to my Instagram and see it. You'll love it. I'll send it to you, Hellickson. You can maybe send it to the group. It's got some curse words, so you can't get mad. But it's Puff Daddy. No, you guys are gonna love this. It's Puff Daddy back in the early days, before he, I think, ever got on MTV. He's wearing a Von Dutch T-shirt and like basketball shorts in an office that is not impressive looking at all. And he's on the phone, and he locks up a deal with MTV to get on there. He puts the phone down, and he says, I got my MTV. And he goes on to say, I'm a savage. I'm an effing savage. Ah. And then it gets better. He's like, whatever I want, I'm going to get. Whatever I want, I'm going to get. And he grabs his stuff, and he's throwing it across the office. And he's still going, and he's looking at people in his room. He's like, what's next? What's next? I want it all. I won't lay down. I won't lay down. What's next? What can't you do? I can do it. I can do anything.
I love it, dude. I love the chucking stuff across the room thing. It's like Mike is going to do with his computer in a minute here. I love it. That's awesome.
Well, I'm telling you, you watch stuff like that. If that doesn't make you want to go work harder, then again, you just need to hang out with Hellickson some more.
That's awesome. One of the things I love about that is, you talk about working harder, right? And it's here's the thing. So often people use that excuse of, well, I'm going to work smarter, not harder. Well, freaking do both, right? Like, work smarter and work harder in the time that you have. It's okay to cut down the number of hours, right? It's okay to cram more into less time, but that means you got to work even harder. You got to get even more focused. You got to start saying no to stuff. You got to start telling people that waste your freaking time. Look, I'm sorry. I love you, but I don't have time right now. I'm focused. I need to stay on what I'm doing. If you want to get those goals, you can't let every stupid little thing distract you throughout the day. And that is epidemic in real estate, especially right now in the best market we've seen in 12 years, where it's easy to make money as a real estate agent, and people just find all kinds of reasons not to work. You got to get your head straight, you guys, so that you can, like Sam says, so that you feel like I can take on anything, I can accomplish anything I want. And to your point, Sam, I mean, that's, Tony Robbins would describe that as incantations, not affirmations, where you're getting your whole body into it. You're chucking stuff across the room. You're screaming. People in the other offices around you are like, dude, do I have Jerry Maguire in my office? What the heck's going on here, right? I mean, you've got to do that. You've got to get that kind of energy into it. And if you can't get that kind of energy into it, brothers and sisters, I got news for you. You may need to find a different career. I know McDonald's is hiring. I mean, check them out. Who knows?
It's so true. And speaking of Anthony Robbins, something that I really think agents need to, if you take anything away from this is the sentence, this is the quote, this is something you need to live by. And it comes from Anthony Robbins. And I want you to take it back and apply it to yourself and where you are versus where you want to be. What he says is people overestimate what they can do in 1 to 2 years and underestimate what they can do in 1 to 2 decades. This is not a game that you get into to get rich tomorrow. You get into it as a new agent, you hang out with Hellickson, you'll make money, you'll make it quick, but you're not going to get rich overnight. And that goes to my next point. One of the biggest challenges I see in mindset is people are trying to find balance. And I think the word balance is a lie. I believe there's something else that exists that actually could give you the feeling of balance, and that's the word sacrifice. See, like, I see this all the time. Hellickson, if you know a Hellickson, Michael loves being with his family, with his wife, with his kids. And I see him sacrificing every day. I see him on a plane. I see him in your offices. I see him. That's exactly it. That's his quote. And every day I see him sacrificing to do better for his family. And if he was trying to find balance in the moment that he's on a plane on his way to Bjorkman's office, there's no balance there. And he might go crazy trying to find balance as opposed to getting comfortable with the word sacrifice. Because when he's being a good business person, he might not be the best family person in that moment. And when he's being a great family person, he might not be a good business person. But when you find sacrifice, that is what will give you balance.
I love what you said there, Sam. I think over and over again, there's this delusion, and we hear it every single day. You need to find balance. You need to find balance. You need to find balance. That is BS. I don't know how else. Anyone who's successful, if you look at anybody, who's on the top, who's on the 500 list, they don't have balance. But one of the things that they do is they stay present wherever they're doing. That's what I heard when you said that. So Michael's present when he's with his family. I know, because I've tried to call him on Sunday afternoon. He won't answer even my phone call, and we're really, really good friends. So, it's where you're at and staying where you're at. So let me ask you just another question. So I'm an agent. Let's say I've been an agent for 2 years. I'm doing okay. What is the one thing that, if I was talking to Sam, that Sam would tell me is my next step to kind of take my business to the next level? What would be your one piece of advice that you would give them at this point?
That's a really, really good question. And it's something I get asked a lot. And I might need to give you two answers, because the first one is it's going to sound like a solicitation to go to Michael's events. It's not.
I'm okay with that. It's okay.
Feel free.
But the answer is, look, I know the three of you and me have one thing for sure in common, is we spend a lot of time with people like Michael. We spend a lot of time going to events. And if you think that you got it figured out, I'll tell you, the people that make the most amount of money are the ones that think they don't have it figured out. So if you're a new agent or you've been in the business for 20 years, if you simply want to get better, you need to put better stuff in your head. You need to have better approach. You need to have better attitude. And all these things to me come from hanging out with the right people and attending right events like Club Wealth. Now, if I was to give you a tactical answer, I think that the most amount of money in the business is being lost in the lack of follow-up with your database, past clients, sphere of influence, and your leads. It's mind-boggling to me. Everybody could be doing 20 to 30 deals as a baseline just by working their database, their sphere of influence, and following up with their leads better. So if you really just want to grow your business and you only want one strategy, you already know, work your database, work your sphere. But too many of us make a lot of excuses as to why we shouldn't and why we can't and why we won't, or we justify our half-assed approach to be good enough, and we're leaving Lamborghinis on the table. I'm seeing it all the time.
One of the things, first of all, I agree with you on everything you've been saying, both you guys. One of the things, Sam, that you mentioned a minute ago was sacrifice versus balance. And Brian, I know you hate the word balance too, because you guys are right. It's really not about let me try and do everything all at one time. And Brian, you hit the nail on the head. It's being present in the moment. And, if I'm at work, my kids know I'm at work. I love you guys. We're going to have our time, but that's not right now. Right now, I'm focused, and I'm going to be focused during that time that I've set aside in what we call our perfect daily schedule. And by the way, you can get that on our website for free if you guys want to see kind of what a perfect daily schedule looks like for a newer agent or a high producing agent. We've got examples of both on there. Go to clubwealth.com/PDS. But essentially, when I'm in any moment, I'm very focused in that moment. I'm very focused with whoever it is I'm talking to. I'm not doing 10 other things. Like right now, I'm on this webinar. I'm not, what I'm typing into my computer right now, I'm typing typing comments into the comments box on your screen so I can answer people's questions. I am 100% focused on this conversation. That's what I do. And so you guys, if to Sam's point earlier, you may not want Lamborghinis. Okay, I get it. That's cool. Maybe what you want, like I want to have a lot of money in the bank. I want to have rental properties. I want to have passive income that allows me to choose whether I work or not. I want to have passive income that allows me to have choices about how I raise my kids and what their opportunities in life are. And you know, I want to have money in the bank that allows me to decide, you know what? Screw work next month. I'm going to go to Europe for a month and spend time with my kids or do whatever. At one point in time, Tara and I literally took 3.5 years off. We traveled all over Europe with the family. We traveled all over the country with the family. And we were able to do that because of what we'd done all those years before to stockpile a whole bunch of cash so that we had the opportunity to make choices like that. So whatever your thing is, call it what it is. Don't be embarrassed about the fact that it takes money to do certain things in life. Don't use, well, money's not everything, or money's the root of all evil, or money is, you know, it's easier for a rich man for a camel to get through the eye of the needle than for a rich man to get into heaven. I mean, all these misconceptions that we have about money are just hangups that keep you from being successful. Stop allowing the hangups that our parents left us with to keep you from being successful, and go out and get what's yours. And here's the other thing. If you want, you know, a lot of you are thinking, well, Michael, I just want to give it all away. Like Priyanka Joy, perfect example. Priyanka loves to take care of her charities and loves to take care of animals and dogs out there. She's got this awesome charity but guess what? It takes money to do that. And it's a lot easier to help more people when you have a lot of money to do it with. So go make millions of dollars and give it all away if you want. That's awesome. But you got to make the money to do it.
Yeah, it's so true. I really don't know where people started to decide that money was not as good, like less money is not as good as more money. Like, I don't know where this all of a sudden came, but like everything is easier with money. Everything, taking care of the people you love, enjoying the moment, being present, expanding, growing, experiencing, buying, sell, everything is easier with money. And like Hellickson said, if you want to give it away, but give more of it away than less of it away. More is always better, and you should have it all. Like I'll tell you, give it all away and have a Lamborghini. Give it all away and have a Rolls Royce and go to Europe for 3 years and have a G6. Like, why not? Why not? There's other people that have it all and give it all. And if they can do it, you can do it. Hellickson, if you don't get a Lambo, we're going to have some problems, bro.
Dude, you're making me think of Doug Holliday with his freaking Mercedes with the chicken feed in the back, man. I love it. Shout out to Doug Holliday.
That's awesome. Can you guys hear me now? I feel like my internet's working better. Is it? I want to be able to talk. You guys are saying such great stuff. Say yes or no. Okay.
It's better.
Thanks, Brandon. So here's the deal. And here's the bottom line, and I'm glad this conversation has got to this because so many people are afraid to talk about money. They say mindset. Yeah, I have the mindset to go door knocking. I have the mindset to go to an event, but it all boils down to money. And so many people are. This isn't paid for sex. This is money that we all need, we all want, and we can all do what we want with it. So many agents come to me and they say, I only need 250 grand a year. I only want 250 grand a year. And I say, you're limiting yourself. Why would you say you only want? What if you made 500,000? Well, don't push me to that. I just, no. What would you do? And then they'd say, well, I would do this, and this. Do you think your life would be better? Yes. Do you think your family would be more appreciative? Do you think you could do things that other agents can't, won't, or couldn't? Yes. Then focus on, instead of focusing on a goal that's only, focus on a real goal that you really can bring yourself to. Because let's face it, you can show up halfway sober, halfway dressed in this real estate market and make $500,000 a year. There's nothing wrong with
experience. I'm just saying.
So here's the reality. So this market is just 2001, 2002. I worked 20 hours a week, part-time as a real estate agent, sold over 150 homes a year, made over $1 million a year. And this is the same market again. So when somebody comes to me and says, I only want to make 250 grand, or I only want to make, well, what are you going to do with the other 35 hours a week that you should be working? You know, it's like so unbelievable. And then they say, well, I don't need that. Okay, fine. If you don't need that, I want all the people on this planet to line up and say, I don't need that. And let meet each and every one of them so I can take the time, move into their market, and go sell houses in their market, because I know there's a big chunk of something missing, and it's more opportunity for me. And that's the attitude, things around the room. Nothing can stop me. Nothing can stop me. I want more. I have no problem retiring early. I want to work on that.
Quote from Les Brown. And if you don't know Les Brown, you want to get motivated, just listen to that guy for 3.5 seconds. And he says, if you reach for the stars and you miss, you'll land on the clouds. And that's exactly what I hear Bjorkman saying. Like, if you're reaching for a $100,000 a year, if you miss, you're just shy of poverty, right? If you're shooting for 500 grand and you miss and hit 300, well, you're doing great. And the reality is, the bigger you think, the bigger you'll do. Like, I don't know. I was born this way. I'm a little sick in the head. I really was born with the thought that if I don't have a Rolls Royce, I might die. And I still feel that way. I just have to have it. And if you don't feel that way, then go sit inside of one for 3 minutes and drive it on the block. And then I want you to personally call me and tell me you don't need one of those. And we'll have a personal one-on-one coaching session so I can fix those screws. Couple olives short of a martini, if you ask me.
Hey, I think we need to call it what it is. I think when people, and please, nobody take offense to this, but I really want you to do a gut check, personal gut check on this. I honestly believe that more often than not, that when people start talking about how they don't need money to be happy, or how they don't need money for this, that, or the other, and they are okay with this, that, and the other that they have, I honestly believe that almost every time, not necessarily every time, but the vast majority of the time, I think they're deluding themselves into believing that they don't have to be successful as an excuse for poor performance. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes. Yes.
I would. I think that people are much more fearful of success than they are of failure. If I'm successful, how do I hang out with my friends who aren't? If I'm successful, everybody's going to want to come after me. If I'm successful, all these people are going to judge me. You know what? Some of that stuff may be true. Get better friends. Don't care what people think. I mean, there's so many great opportunities out there. We're talking about this money thing. T. Harv Eker wrote that book, The Millionaire Mind. That is an amazing book to talk about this. He talks about a guy who's making $800,000 a year and is broke because he's got this mentality that his mom is going to hate him if he's successful. Well, he went and bought his mom a beautiful house in Hawaii. His mom loved him, and all of a sudden he could make more money. And I know that sounds like a crazy story, but where's our mindset? We grew up, and everyone on this call has heard this, is money is the root of all evil. We hear that in this country. Michael made a similar quote earlier. Well, if I believe that, then I can't go make money because that makes me evil. So, right. There's lots of great people. And Sam, I want to applaud you for having a goal to give away $1 million. I'm not sure what organization you're looking to give it to, but I'm sure it's a good one. And I want to applaud you for that. So, along those lines, what kind of goal setting, are you guys doing, or are you having agents do, or people you talk to that, gets this stuff in front of you? Maybe a daily activity, monthly, weekly. What kind of things are you doing for that?
For myself, when I'm goal setting with one of my agents, the first thing I said is, for a second, I want you to be selfish. Okay? Be selfish. Be really, really selfish. And if you're absolutely selfish, what would you like to have? And if I can't get them to be selfish, then I'll say, okay, how much money do you want to have in the bank when you actually retire? Like, after tax, after everything, money sitting in the bank. And that usually gets them to be able to start thinking, because, a lot of times they say, well, I want to have $1 million in the bank or 500 grand in the bank by the time I retire, but they're only making $120,000 a year. It's really hard over the course of time to stack up $500,000 when it seems like, well, if I make 100 grand for a few years, I can make that happen. So I think if you start with the end goal and you really put numbers to it, pay the taxes on paper, do all these things, and then see how much you really have to earn, it makes it very, very real. And what's exciting about this is, all of a sudden, if you do what Club Wealth teaches you, your numbers, then that every goal you've ever had, you want to buy your mom a house in Hawaii, that's just a division of your numbers. Like, literally, you want to go buy a $500,000 house? Well, do what Michael teaches you. You'll know your numbers. You'll say, okay, well, shit, I only need to make 30,000 phone calls to go buy $1 million house. And if that doesn't excite you, then again, I guess that McDonald's thing's a good option.
Or we could just have Sam on every week, and $100 a pop. I can that
Did I say a bad word?
Dude, baby.
No.
That's $200. Hey, that's okay. It's going to charity, man. It's okay. We're gonna make sure we're contributing to your $100 million that you're gonna give away to charity. So I love it. So check it out, you guys. Here's the thing. What Sam's saying is absolutely correct. You guys, you just have to decide what you freaking want. You've got to get selfish for a minute. Think about this. If I'm on an airplane, what do they tell me, right? Do I put my kid's oxygen mask on first? No. I got to put my oxygen mask on first so that I can breathe, so that I survive, so that I can help other people. I can't help anybody if I'm dead. I can't help anybody if I'm broke. I need some money. I need opportunity. For example, why would we go out and create? I mean, I make tons of money, right? I make plenty of money. I've got a great life. Why create Club Wealth? Why create the Club Wealth group where we've got over 15,000 agents now in the group? Why do that? Because I want to help more people. So I have to go big to help more people. It's not going to matter. I mean, here's the thing. I can go and do whatever I want in life, whether we grow Club Wealth bigger than it is today or not. That's not the reason we do it. We do it because there's people out there that are losing their families, that are losing their friendships, that are working 24/7 in real estate and not making the kind of money that they not only deserve, but that they should be making based on the amount of effort they're putting in. Why? Because they're spinning their wheels and they're doing all the wrong things because somebody said on something sometime, they watched a thing or they saw a podcast or heard a podcast where they bought some shiny object they didn't need. Now they're down a track that's not going to get them to where they need to be. You guys, we're not afraid to grow big. You need to not be afraid to go big. It's all you're doing. And I can't remember the exact quote. I promise I'll have it for you at some point. Maybe we'll post it in the post here. But it's usually attributed to Maya Angelou. It wasn't actually Maya Angelou that was the first one that said it. But your playing small does not serve the world. It doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve your family. And it certainly doesn't serve the people you're trying to help. So stop playing small and go freaking big. If you go big, you can help a whole lot more people. All right. So enough of my rant. Go for it, guys. Marianne Williams, thank you. That's right.
One of the things that we got to go back to and focus a lot of people, we have to focus on our F's, right? Our 6 F's. And once you have that organized in your mind, and good people, good salespeople, good family people do this without even thinking about it. But if you're in a mindset block, think about it, right? So you want to work on your faith, your family, your friends, business, and your fitness. If you focus on all those things every single day, or once a week, your mind grows like, hey, I really enjoy spending time with Sam. I wish I could have helicoptered down and have lunch today. Hey, I really enjoy fitness. I want to go canoe in Hawaii. I want to buy my own house in Hawaii. Like I just gave my mom a very nice car, and that's important.
Mike, dude, your dialogue's terrible, bro. We can't hear. But here's the thing. Do me a favor, because we're having a hard time hearing you. Maybe you could write down on the whiteboard behind you some of the stuff you want to say. Maybe we'd be able to understand it better.
It's there. It's there.
What are those 5 F's again? Tell us. I got faith, family, friends, and I think you said fuzziness. Are you talking about facial hair? Or I'm not sure what he's talking about there. Nope, can't hear you. Type it into the chat box. I'll translate for you.
Maybe it's because I was on mute. So your family.
No, it's not that you were on mute. It's
friend.
it's your eye toy, bud.
I give it.
All right.
So, half over, bro.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to suggest to you that you do at least 3 out of the 5 F's. That's faith, family, friends, and whatever you want to make up the other 2. I don't know.
How's that? Is that any better? Did it work? All right, good. So let's go back. Remember our faith, our family, our friends, our future business, our finances, and our fitness. So we got to focus on all those things. And that's basically how you work your mindset, right? If I'm going to focus on, like I said, the friends, I want a helicopter to go see Sam today. I don't have that, and it pisses me off. He wants to get in a Rolls Royce and come up here, but I want a helicopter because I'm not into traffic from here to San Diego. I just bought my mom a really nice car and paid it off. She's happy. That makes me go, wow, because I do remember there was a time where I really did tell her that I was going to buy her a house in Hawaii. We're going to go to Hawaii for 10 days in a couple of weeks, and I kind of feel bad I'm not bringing my mom, because when I was 12 years old, I told her. So now I have that feeling in my gut, like, you know what a piece of crap. I told my mom when I was little I'm going to buy her a house in Hawaii. Now I have to hurry up and do it because she might only have 20 years left in her. So those are the things that make my mindset go. And when I talk about future business, we focus a good portion of the day on future business, and it motivates you and it opens your mind and it gets clearer and clearer and clearer. And what you just said was amazing, Michael, and I wish I could have wrote that quote down, and I know I've heard it, but really, if we do small things, what are we doing for this world, right? I mean, we just wrote a check Saturday night for $7,000 to the Boys and Girls Club auction, and I thought for a second this morning when I actually saw the bank account, what the heck? And Henry goes, what? It's no big deal. And I go, you're right. I'll just go make it again today. Mindset is everything. It's not a big deal. And speaking of that, one of the biggest things that I hear agents say to me, Mike, I couldn't imagine paying the taxes on it if I made $1 million a year like you. And I go, are you high? I would gladly pay the taxes on $25 billion because think about it. I mean, it's like people saying, I don't want to win the lottery. I don't want to pay the taxes. Or in a golf tournament, when they say, I can't afford the taxes on that car, I just go like, are you freaking kidding me?
Bro, here's the deal. Anybody watching this that doesn't think that you have a fear of success, go check your freaking bank account. Trust me, you have a fear of success. Most of us do. And if you don't believe it, people have a fear of even having money. People have a fear of even just collecting money or collecting assets. And evidence of that is what happens no matter how much more you make, it all seems to what? Disappear, right? So how do we get that to stop happening? You've got to change the way you think about money, about success, about life, about the people that we love, about the relationships that we have. Let's talk about relationships for a minute. And this is important to me, and this is near and dear to my heart. And I have a feeling you guys have a similar story. But when I was younger, there was a period of time when my parents were really hard on me about being in real estate because, I was 18 years old. I was brand new in real estate. I was working 100 hours a week. I was literally 3 nights a week sleeping under my desk at the office. And this was before I had a home office, right? So this is like at the commercial building where I worked. And literally I was the number one agent in the office, right? Which really essentially meant that I was less broke than everybody else because everybody else was freaking broker than I was. And I wasn't making it. I was struggling. And yet they gave me an award for being broke, right? Have you ever seen that happen? All the time, right? So my parents were telling me, Michael, you need to go get a job at McDonald's. Why? Because you'd be more successful. You'll make more money if you go work at McDonald's. And what's really crappy is they were right. They were totally right. If I had left the business at that point in time and gone and worked for McDonald's, I would have made more money. But here's the real problem. Here's the real challenge I encountered. They were relentless about it. And I love my parents and I know they meant well, but they were relentless about it. And every single time I had a conversation with them, it was negativity about how I should be working for McDonald's. And I literally, and I'm not recommending that you do this, but I literally had to say to my parents, I don't want you to call me. I don't want you to contact me. I will reach out to you when I'm ready. I didn't speak to my parents for 10 months. And I know that sounds terrible, but let me tell you something. In that 10 months, I learned more, I grew more, and I not only blew up my business, but I got my head in a position where I could learn because I got coached during that period of time. And I learned how to deal with my parents. I learned how to have a relationship with my parents that wasn't all about the negativity surrounding what was going on in my life and their perception of my lack of success. So have you guys had anything similar to that happen in your lives?
Oh yeah. I grew up super poor. My mom still says that, when are you going to get a real job? I go, Mom, are you kidding me? She goes, what about benefits? Your health insurance? I say, my health insurance is $2,000 a month, and so is my dinner bill. I don't care. In real estate, what's nice about that is it's predictable monthly cash flow, right? And that's what I love about our property management company, predictable monthly cash flow. But it's the same in real estate. If you have the right mindset to where if you talk to 50 people every single day before you go to bed, you'll make $1 million a year. If you want to make $500,000 a year, well, in our market with an average commission of 10,000, if you want to talk to 25 people a year, you'll make $500,000 a year, right? And it's very predictable monthly cash flow, and that's what I like. I know no matter what, I'm going to make $60,000 to $70,000 a month, period. Even off my splits of my real estate cash flow, I can almost go into my bank account and see maybe 1 month will be 55, next month 65, next month 70, next month 80, but it'll still average out to $70,000 a month in predictable monthly cash flow. So when somebody says, and my biggest pet peeve is when somebody's spouse getting into real estate, well, they had the first couple months of bad time. Well, you should go get a real job. And I get on my knees and I beg these agents, please, 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 for the love of God, do not listen to that, because getting a real job means you're going to be broke as ever. This is a real job. You just have to treat it like one. And it all goes back to mindset. Focus on those 6 F's. Focus on a good coach, focus on your events, focus on an hour a day of self-help, an hour a day of skill set, 2 hours a day of prospecting, 2 hours a day of previewing property, an hour a day of follow-up. That's all you need for this beautiful real estate mind. If you just focus on what our coaches tell us to do, everything is perfect. You never have to worry. I thank God every morning that I wake up and I know without a shadow of a doubt, I will have plenty of food on my table and plenty of money in the bank for the rest of my life. Period. That is a mindset of abundance. And every day I make more and more and more. And again, it's not all about money, because we have those 6 F's that we put in the comments there. But if you spend every one of those things every day of a 7-day week, life is beautiful. Mindset is so simple. Once you do what you're supposed to do and have an unshakable belief in yourself and the system that we've put, our forefathers in real estate have put together 100 years ago. So technology changes, all it does is help us. So let's not have the mindset of scarcity that Zillow's going to kill us. Let's have the mindset of abundance that this technology is only going to help us. I sell 5, 6, 10 homes a month off of our technology platforms that we didn't have 5 years ago. So now I literally, if I truly wanted to, I could jump on a helicopter and go have lunch with Sam today because of this technology that I've embraced, not being afraid of. It's a fact. So now I'm so excited about technology. I want to buy that helicopter. You know, one of my business partners, you guys know Brock Felt, he used to fly around in a helicopter all the time. He's one of my motivations for wanting a helicopter. I'd be all, dude, what are you doing? I'm going to go fly around in a helicopter. So that's big mindset, and that's what we need to do. And I don't mean to take up so much time. I'm just excited I have internet.
So I want to
Sam,
something there real quick.
Go ahead.
There's a couple of things. One, listen, there's a difference between advice and counsel. And if you're getting advice, you're getting, to me, definition of advice is getting info from someone that is not where you want to be. So if your parents aren't making $1 million a year and they're telling you to go get a job at McDonald's, maybe that's not the best advice. But if you talk to someone that's making $1 million a year, like anyone on the screen, and you say, hey, look, I'm trying to do this and that, they're going to tell you why you can do it, how you should do it, where you're going to get stuck, how to overcome it. And that maybe instead of thinking about $1 million a year, you should think about $2 million a year. So if someone's telling you you can't, you should just invite them to lunch and not show up, and that will be the end of it.
And then, that's hardcore. I love it, man. That's awesome.
But I do got to say something that I'm also not proud of, but I got to back up my man, Hellickson over here. I got into this business, and it was 15 years ago or so. And I said, hey, I'm going to make a ton of money, and I'm going to bring everyone that I love with me. And I hired my mom. And my mom has been a motivation and inspiration and all these things for me until we worked in the same place together. And she was just not made it for real estate. And she was literally, one of the worst energy sources in the business for me at that moment. And I had to fire my mom, right? I had to tell her, Mom, I love you and I wish the best for you and I want to help you. I just can't do that with you here because we're not in the same place. And today, my mom, it's a family joke, and my mom is so grateful that happened because she didn't waste time in a business she wasn't supposed to be in and all these different things. But sometimes having the right environment so you can have the right attitude and the right mindset starts with something as bad as having to fire your mom. And I'll tell you that when you have to make very uncomfortable but important decisions like that, what I promise you is the people that you look up to in your life at one point were sitting in a seat very similar to that. And those people in that moment of decision decided to do what's right instead of what's easy. If I would have just wanted to do what's easy, my mom would still be with me in a 1,000 square foot office making no money, and we'd both be wondering why we're broke. Instead, I did what was right, and I set her free, and I found freedom, and now we're both living much, much better lives.
And by the way, is your mom's? It's Farah, right? Is that?
Yeah.
I just want to shout out to Farah, who is watching us live right now,
No way.
and just commented on one of our posts. So, that's awesome. But you know what? Here's the thing. I love it. And here's the thing. We love our moms. We do. I mean, but here's the reality. We do love our moms, and we credit our moms for making us who we are today. And not just our moms, but our dads as well. But I mean, think about this, you guys. We are a product of our upbringing in a lot of ways. Yes, there's a certain amount of our DNA is just kind of hardwired in, and we become who we become because we've chosen to become that. But let's call it what it is. The environment in which we're raised has a major impact on who we become over time. And we don't get to where we're at without going through the things that we've gone through in life, good, bad, indifferent. We get there by going through the experience we get through and failing forward. And this is something we don't often talk about, but we need to talk about it more. You're going to make mistakes. Be ready to make mistakes. Go screw something up. I tell people on my team all the time, I said, look, you guys, you're going to do something silly that's going to cost us a bunch of money. Go for it. Screw it up. I need you to be a decision maker. If I got to make all the decisions, we all have a problem. I want to surround myself with wicked smart people, and I want all of them making decisions that affect all of us, because when we all can do that and when we all have that mindset, man, there's nothing that can stop us. There's nothing we can't accomplish together.
It's so true. And there's something else there is, listen, the good people in your lives in the wrong position in your life creates something uncomfortable. Back to my mom, I couldn't imagine a better mom. She motivated, she inspired. But when she was my mom inside of work, that just didn't work for us. And it was really uncomfortable to make the decision that we had to go separate ways, but we're much better for it. So right now, I think there's people in your life that are giving you a message, but that's not their role in your life. If their role in your life is to speak to you about being successful in real estate, then their name needs to be Michael Hellickson. And if it's not, then that's not the person you should be getting advice from, because, maybe your mom or your dad or your uncle or your cousin, maybe they haven't made $1 million in real estate. So for you to be going to events, spending time, spending energy, doing all these things with no health insurance, to them seems crazy.
Yeah, you're right. But you know what? To us, anything but that seems crazy. Like, I can't imagine going to a job and working for some. First of all, nobody would hire me, right? I mean, why in the world would anybody want me working in their company? Nobody'd ever hire me. I'm too high D for that, I guess. I don't know. But at the end of the day, you guys, you got to change your mindset. You got to understand that what's normal for leaders is absolutely completely out of the norm for everybody else. Remember this. Eagles don't flock with turkeys. If you want to be successful, stop hanging out with turkeys and start hanging out with eagles. Because guess what? We're going somewhere, and man, when we swoop in, we're getting that fish one way or the other. While the turkeys are out there eating the grain. So do you want the fish or do you want the grain? I'll tell you what, I want the fish. That's what I'm eating. So here's the deal. We're running out of time, and I want to throw a couple of things out there. First and foremost, don't forget, we're going to give away a couple of prizes here in just a second. And then I want to mention also, and I don't have the bill on me, but we're going to give away $100 and another prize. Don't forget about the the Business Strategy Mastermind Conference that Sam is going to be emceeing. How cool is that? We're very excited to have Sam back as our MC now that hopefully he's not having another baby in November. You're not having another one in November, are you?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, nice. All right. Let's not mess that one up again. All right. You're not allowed to have a baby in November. Do it in December or January, something like that. Anyway.
Hopefully my wife's listening to that one.
Yeah.
It's math. Nice. Do the math.
It's math.
I could just see it now. Farrah's like, I don't think so. I want as many grandkids as I can get. All right. So check it out. here's what we're going to do. Sam's going to be the MC at the event. The link is in your post right now. It's clubwealth.com/BSM as in Business Strategy Mastermind. Prices are lower right now than they will be going forward. You better get on there right now and get signed up. We have way more. We literally have about 300% more people signed up right now than we did for this time last year for the event. So tickets are going fast, and VIP tickets are going fast. And if you're not in VIP, you're going to wish you were. VIP, essentially, we do it for the cost of the food. It includes your lunches both days. It includes a wicked awesome dinner one of the nights, and you get to network with me, with Sam, with Mike, with Brian, with all the power players. We're all in VIP, so you get to network with all of us and the other agents out there that are doing really, really well that you would definitely want to be around. And this will be in Anaheim. It's November 7th through the 9th, so make sure you guys are there. That being said, we got $100 to give away. I'm looking over at my sign over here that VIP. It shows on the website. I'm not sure, George. I'm not sure exactly how much it is. The winners right now. So we're going to give $100 away. This is for $100. And that $100 is to the person that was randomly drawn from people that added a bunch of people to this Facebook group. And that is Joy Russell. So congratulations, Joy Russell. You got yourself $100. We're going to be sending that out to you. And then we've also got, and I don't know why I don't have this with me. I should have this with me so I could show you guys. We have something called the 37-minute guaranteed listing presentation kit. What this is it's literally me teaching you exactly how to go out and how I was literally listing 50 to 75 homes a month, not counting REO, just retail, just me going on mom and pop appointments. I was listing 50 to 75 of those in 12 days a month. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. And included with this is an actual video of me on a live listing presentation from start to finish with a real seller, unedited. And you can't buy this. So it's not for sale. You get it when you sign up to be a coaching client with Club Wealth, or you win it. And that's the only two ways you can get a copy of this. And the winner of that is Bernadette Samara. So Bernadette, congratulations. We're excited that you got that. So make sure that you watch it and watch the videos, because we don't want you to have a smart bookshelf. We want you to have a smart mind, right? Fix that mindset. So guys, we're going to wrap up. And as we do, I want to get parting thoughts from each one of you. So we'll start with Brian Curtis and work our way down to Sam. So Brian Curtis, what are your parting thoughts for us today?
My parting thought is it's always great to hang out with Sam. You know, he's got a great mindset, and I appreciate that we got to talk about that today. And, you know, as I look forward, you know, I'm always considering things to do for our team meetings. And I think that our next team meeting, a lot of it's going to be about mindset. And, you know, I really appreciate the reminder. One of the things that I know for sure is that, you know, I know some stuff, but I also love the people who are successful are the people who realize that they've got more to learn. That's not the exact quote, but that's really what my biggest takeaway is. I have so much more to learn, because my business can only grow based on my growth. So thanks so much for being on today, Sam.
Thank you.
Right on. Thank you for that. All right, Mr. Bjorkman, we're gonna have you. You might want to write this on the board, maybe send it in a carrier pigeon so we can actually understand it. But what are your biggest takeaways today, bro?
Honestly, my biggest takeaway is just being on the computer with you guys changes my mindset to go bigger, better, faster, higher, flyer. I can't wait for Anaheim. That's stupid that it's in November. I need you guys with me now. So, you know, we travel all over the country together, and it's amazing how you crave that, because that does help your mindset. When your mindset is super strong and super powerful, you know, and in what Sam said, you got to be around the right people. If you're not the dumbest person in the room, or if you're not the least motivated person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And that's my mindset takeaway. I mean, I'm just like, gosh, I really need to be in a room with you guys soon, because that empowers me to do bigger and greater things.
I love it. All right, Sam, we're going to give you the final word. What is it, bro?
Well, first off, I want to thank you guys for having me. I really had a lot of fun, and I want to go back to the event in Anaheim. And I had the opportunity to attend for the first time in Anaheim when Michael asked me to be the MC. And I get asked to do that quite often. And I rarely say yes, but I said yes for two reasons. One, I know that Michael is a man that leads with love. And he really, really, really wants the best for everyone that he's involved with. And he kept telling me, this is going to be a world-class event, bro. Bro, it's going to be world-class. Dude, bro, it's going to be world-class. And frankly, I've heard that a lot, and I wanted to go see what he thought world-class was. And I left there after the event What a really passionately love-felt, world-class. If you're in this business making a little money or a ton of money, you can't afford to miss with some of the best agents around the country, with some of the best thought leaders around the country. And I'll tell you, it's something that I think is truly special, and you've created magic, and I'm excited to see it next time.
I appreciate that a lot. Thank you very, very much for that. And thank you for emceeing. And I got to tell you, that magic happens because of who's in the room. It really comes down to, you've got amazing people in the room, both as speakers and participants. And it's just, I don't know how, I'll be honest, I don't know how it happened, but there's like this just amazing culture inside of Club Wealth. And it's because of you guys. And it just, people really care about each other. Anyway, I love Club Wealth. I love what you guys bring for everybody in Club Wealth, and the fact that you guys come from contribution at every turn. So thank you guys very, very much. This has been awesome. Sam, loved having you on, and we're going to have to do this again very soon, and cannot wait to see you in November. And actually, I think we may have something cooking between now and then down in San Diego. So we'll be reaching out to you on that too. So that being said, everybody, thank you so much for watching. It's been awesome. It's been real. It's been fun. And you guys, everybody teases me about this, but here's the reality. I always say this at the end of everything we do, and here's why. Because truly, no joke, inside each and every one of you, there is a world-class beast just dying to get out. The question is, will you release that beast? Will you unleash that beast on the world? Will you change your mindset, and will you make the decision to be a better you than you are today? So go be that world-class you today, and have an awesome day, week, month. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, you guys. Bye-bye.